Artificial intelligence seems to be everywhere these days, but with that visibility and popularity, well, that comes praise and criticism. Learning how to use AI to address your specific situation is key to getting answers. So, Greg Shepard, you've worked with AI, and what have you found?
I have in many ways, man. I tell you what, Patrice, I'm super pumped up about today's episode, and I'll frame it this way. Let me preface here a little bit. Would you agree with me here? And please push back if you don't. AI, in my opinion, is maybe akin to, remember back in the old days when the internet was starting, we had the AOL dial-up.
Oh,
or
yeah.
maybe even better yet, do you remember those, just sprung in my head, remember those car phones? People used to have literally phones, like a corded phone in their car. My mom had this. It was phenomenal. Back in the 90s, I think. The coolest thing ever. So beginning stages of technology, like AOL dial-up, all right? Beginning stages, phases of the internet, which revolutionized the way look what we're doing now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think we're on the precipice of something that extraordinary and that revolutionizing, especially in my industry. And a lot of folks in my industry, afraid is not the right term. Cognizant of AI.
I think afraid is the right term.
Yeah. So now, when you say afraid, what do you mean? Are you talking about? This is a good conversation here. Are you talking about the public being afraid, or are you talking about specifically folks in my industry?
No, in your industry.
Okay,
in your industry, I think they are afraid.
So let's piggyback off that. I agree, and I think the general, and we're kind of getting off topic here. I'll bring it back. Don't worry. The generalist in my industry should be afraid, and I know that because I've used AI to do their job, and it's not too far away until that is in mass production, for lack of a better term, for generalists, okay? Meaning that simple investment advice, if you will, research, implementation to drive income. Patrice, once you implement AI, it's not going to be that hard, okay? Now, rather than being afraid of it, one needs to accept it and implement it into their practice if they're in the right, let's call it the niche, if you will, okay? Because the great example here, I'm dealing with TIAA folks, right? TIAA folks trying to uncomplicate, unwind those oftentimes confusing TIAA accounts. AI is not there yet, all right? And this gets to, I think, one of the questions we're going to talk about is how does AI help TIAA participants, all right? So trust me, I've gone in and messed around with AI in that regard. It's not there yet. Now, it's not there because it hasn't learned how do I word this? It hasn't, like if you go in there, I envision a TIAA participant using AI and saying, hey, I have these contracts and what's the best thing for me to do? It's not there yet. And also if you do that same question the next day, it has a hard time like remembering that question. It'll give you a different answer. Okay. And I know that because I've done it multiple times. So I have upgraded many platforms, AI platforms, upgraded paid versions, right? And to the point where now I've taught it. I've taught these AI platforms the restrictions around like illiquid contracts, okay? I've taught it basically everything I know. And the reason that's good for me and my clients, the ones that onboard, is that we can tell. So I'm getting excited. Okay, Patricia, it doesn't take a lot to get me excited. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Okay, go back in time, right? Go back your time, and me as well. Go back in time. You're 30 years old, all right? And you get hired by, University of Kansas is down the street. I'm in Kansas City. So University of Kansas hires you. And they have this retirement plan. I know like the back of my hand, but it gets a little confusing. You have a mandatory, a voluntary. You've got Roth features. You got a 457. You got 403B. You got all these components to that retirement plan. I guarantee what I did, maybe not you, is you just set it and forget it. You're like, this is overwhelming. I got more stuff to deal with. I just got hired. I'm just going to do what my neighbor told me to do and set it and forget it. And what if you had a tool afforded to you that could tell you, and would tell you, oh gosh, given all the contracts afforded to you. These are the contracts you should put money in. Layering on if you should and how much money you could or should contribute to TIAA traditional for purposes of lifetime income down the road. Okay, that's suitable for what you
Mm-hmm.
want, because that's creates illiquidity and liquidity, but it can map it out as you go into your career. Not only that, a tool could tell you that yes, your plan allows Roth conversions. All right, Jane, Joe, John, Sally, we're going to do Roth conversions within your retirement plan at these stages in your life, given 3% COLA raises per year. All right, we're going to implement in-service rollovers because your plan allows it at these stages in your life. All right, we're going to take those monies to a rollover IRA at this stage. We're going to do Roth conversions outside your plan at this stage. This is all, and I'm doing air quotes here,
Mm-hmm.
free of charge. This is basically a tool mapping out exactly how many dollars you should be putting into your retirement plan, okay, what contracts, what investments, how much traditional, and it'll lay out a game plan when you're retired. So this is a game plan that you can follow to the T that does not exist right now.
But does it take real life into account?
I guess no. So real life meaning you're going to change jobs, you're going to change, you're going to get married, you're going to get divorced, you're going to do all that stuff. Okay. So what you can do, and I've done this, is you can go in and alter the variables. All right. So I've left University of Kansas. I got hired at University of Oklahoma, where my parents went. Sorry, everybody out there. University of Oklahoma. I got hired at University of Oklahoma. Now I have this old 403B, whatever, 457. Right. What do I do? But you got to give it it's got to learn. You got to give it information. At least now, Patrice, it's going to be fun 3 years, 5 years from now, listening back to this episode, listening and thinking about what's transpired or evolved over the period of time, 3 or 5 years. Because I guarantee what I'm talking about now, it's not going to be archaic, but there's going to be some sort of implementation as to what I'm speaking about into these plans. There should be. All right. So you can alter or massage variables into these plans as one goes through life and give you the most optimal direction to go with those monies. Okay. Now, does that make sense?
It does, but the one thing that I see here is, and you're right, in the future, this may not be as much of an issue, but it's the individualization. You've got to teach this tool about you.
Yeah. So the average, again, I get excited here. So I just got the phone or a Zoom call. I'm not kidding here, with a rocket scientist. All right. He's down at Arizona State. They have a phenomenal aerospace engineering program, goes way beyond me. But I did this. Now he's retiring. And so he knows this stuff inwards and outwards. But he just needed his handheld. And this kind of leads me to the second part of how AI can help TIAA participants, is that he's got millions of dollars, and they're all kind of been thrown around in different buckets, of which I think he had, I don't know, he had a couple million with TIAA, and trying to figure out how to put this puzzle together. Okay. So what I did, and this was our second or third Zoom call, so I already had this all put together, is used with the help of AI. I have taught it Arizona State University's ABOR, Arizona Board of Regents retirement plan. I've given AI his situation, okay, financially speaking, of course, and then I told it what we want to accomplish. We want this amount of income. We want to extract from certain accounts, most tax efficient. It literally lays out a game plan as to what to do in certain phases of your life, leading up to Social Security because the game plan changes, leading up to RMDs because the game plan changes. All right. He was blown away. It was more detailed, it was easier to understand than any other financial planning software that he has purchased. And piggybacking off that I have used. Patrice, I've now, I do this for a living, obviously. I've owned or bought 3 high-end retirement planning softwares in the course of the last 5 years. Okay. And I've used it, of course.
Mhm.
Pales, this AI pales in comparison to, if am I wording that correctly? Basically, it's
Mhm.
3 steps forward, 3 steps ahead of the most powerful retirement planning software for TIAA participants. Okay. So, I mean, again, I'll ask you the question: what if you're retiring and you have all these buckets of monies and you know investments, you know taxes, but you could type in your situation, um, teach the tool your retirement plan, and then it lays out a very specific game plan as to how you extract monies from which accounts at certain periods of your life,
Right.
when to do Roth conversions and justify as to why mathematically, and then lead it up to Social Security, as I've already reiterated, and the plan changes. There's no other tool out there like this for TIAA participants. It does not exist. Now, I get ideas. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I have all these ideas. I love this part of the business. For every 10 ideas, maybe one of them is good. Maybe one of them gets implemented.
At
If
least that
that,
one is good.
yeah, if that, right? What if the employer, this is going to come at some day, come at some point in time. The employer says, "Hey, we have this tool accessible to all you employees out there, University of Kansas, University of Oklahoma, it doesn't matter. We have You can utilize it to do exactly what I just told you. Now, will this ever transpire? Probably not, because if you go down the rabbit hole, there's ways that vendors lose money on this. All right. Now, and this is going a little deeper, the employer could save millions of dollars implementing this tool. And I'm not
But
kidding.
could there not be the potential for lawsuits if people don't use it properly or if it hallucinates?
Yeah, so we're not there yet. So we're not,
Okay.
it took me a couple seconds to catch that one. We're not there yet, right? But there's going to be a time where it hasn't been created yet. But a lot of the internet wasn't created yet. Not that I'm creating something that is so grandiose. It's already been created. Someone's got to figure out on the tech side how to implement it. There's going to be a time where Sally Smith, new employee of University of Kansas, we, being the employer, you're going to have access, Sally, to this tool that's going to tell you, it's going to give you a roadmap as to what you do financially on your retirement plan. Long are the days. The days are gone where, let me phrase it this way. I get this question all the time. Greg, how much money do I need to retire on? Do I have enough money to retire on? Okay. What if you could start at 30 years old and it'll lay out a game plan better than any retirement planning software can do with TIA? Okay. And all you do is follow that game plan. And it sounds remedial, but it's a lot more complex than one may think. Because do you want to implement lifetime income into that game plan? Okay. Then how do you do it? How much money do I throw towards that? And again, for those that are retiring as well, you have this tool accessible to you, afforded to you by the employer, and it's going to be the most powerful tool that anyone can implement for the retirement plan for higher ed and medical professionals as well. But this tool doesn't exist yet. It will.
All right. I see a science fiction book here. This tool is implemented and people are told to entrust their money to the tool. The tool will take care of it. The tool takes care of it by taking it all away.
No, I see where you're going with this. And of course, there's going to be skepticism, pessimism.
I'm trying.
No, I appreciate the feedback. There's probably some things that I haven't, and of course, I'm not creating the tool, so I don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. But it's just a thought. The tool is just used just that. It's a tool. It's not where your money is. It's not where your money is housed or custodian. Like you'd still use TIA, you'd still use Vanguard, whatever the case is, but it provides that tool to tell you how to use those vendors, how to use TIA, how to get the most out of TIA, given what you want. Maybe your goal is to have lifetime income, which just makes sense. I want lifetime income just to cover my expenses when I retire in 20 years. So, my expenses are $30,000 a year. Okay. I want to I want you, some sort of AI bot to tell me how much money I need to put into illiquid traditional, because you get a higher
Hmm.
rate on new deposits. I want you to tell me how much money to put into illiquid traditional for the next 20 years. Okay. And then layer on top of that the game plan with my liquid traditional and the liquid assets outside of traditional, so I can be comfortable having whatever $70,000 of income when the time comes. It's kind of hard to it's it's kind of hard to conceptualize just throwing this
No,
money or
no,
throwing this idea out to people. But I have done a deep dive on this, and I'm telling you, it's not too far off. It's not that crazy
okay.
to think of how this third party AI bot helping folks out navigating their retirement.
You still have to understand they may not follow it. And we're
Yeah.
and therefore the role of the human comes in. The one
Yeah.
who nudges them and says, "Yo, did you do this or not?"
Yeah. So that's where I come into play, right? So it's a good segue, good transition there. Very well done. So again, I'll go back to the fact that I've taught my AI bot. I'm still trying to figure out a name for it. That might get a little weird if I start calling it.
Oh no, that's cool. Come up with a
You
good
think
name.
so? All right.
Yeah.
But maybe by the next episode here, I'll have it named. But I still feel that's a little weird. I can teach the AI bot your retirement plan and then coordinate with it, given your variables, how to do exactly what we talked about. So for someone to do this, like in our history, right, their brain thinks differently most of the time. And they need someone to help navigate this process. So if you just rely on, someone from TIAA, they're great people, but someone from TIAA, well, they're not going to do this because that impedes on what they do. They want you to come into under their wrapper, go into their wealth management program, and and they charge a fee for that. So if you start introducing this outside entity, which sounds weird, this outside service that can not only do their job for them but do it better, there's going to be a lot of pushback on what I'm talking about, and rightfully so. TIAA and they're a great company, Vanguard, throw any company out there for employer retirement plans. They are for profit. They make money, right? So if you start introducing something that's free as of now, it's air quotes. It won't be free in the future. I do pay for it, by the way, but a small pittance compared to what the employer is paying some of these vendors. There's going to be a lot of pushback on this implementation of AI into retirement plans.
Your colleagues, do you see many of them thinking the same way, or are they kind of pushing it away, thinking, well, it's not going to amount to anything?
Yeah. I'd say I play a lot of golf with guys and gals in my industry, and so we'll start chatting just a little bit about business, and I always bring up AI, and and I get where they're coming from. Like my clients that are 70 plus years old, 60 plus years old, it's not a threat. Let's use the word threat, okay? AI is not threatening that business, and I get that. I agree with that. And most of those folks are already retired; they're set in their ways, but there's a guy down the hall from me. He's 33 years old, and we've talked about it endlessly. He's a lot more advanced on AI than I am, I think, just because of his age and the things they do at that age. And he's of the same opinion that his firm, he's already feeling threatened about with
Really?
AI. Yeah, and I think the industry is more threatened maybe a decade from now. We're hiring a new advisor, and he's 28 years old, and he doesn't know it yet. We haven't had this discussion, but I think when you're trying to onboard younger folks, 30 years old, thereabouts, it's a whole new ball game. It's going to be a whole new ball game, just with finances in general and the access they have to all these AI tools. I think in a good way. I think it's, but like you said, you have to have a human, at least as of now, a human to push that game plan forward.
Right.
It's almost like buying insurance or getting that trust document in place. The obstacle, the number one obstacle, is just lack of persistence with a human. That's why it doesn't get done. All right, procrastination. So you have to have someone in your corner to do this for you. For most people, like that art history department person. Okay, I think he or she would be, well suited for a human to help them out with this.
Do you see this as um, kind of the same as the robo advisor scare and threat, and then advisors learned how to use the technology?
Great question. So the robo-advisor has been around a while, and of course, it's still there. And there's great use of that. Knocks down the cost, cheap investments for the most part, and it's a great tool to use. What I'm speaking about is not necessarily on the investment side, although you could use it for that. And also think about this on that employer retirement plan. This would be used in a smaller version, but you can throw into it the investment options afforded to you for that retirement plan, and then have it optimize and tell you how to invest given your risk tolerance. Okay, but that's fairly
Hmm.
simple. But what I'm talking about with the implementation of the AI is more of a strategic roadmap. Okay, maybe you could still
Okay, no, I
for
see
your
it. Yeah.
yeah, for your example, you could still use the robo advisor for the investments, but that Vanguard Robo, or they all have robo advisors these days. It's not going to tell you how to get from 30 to 65 in the most tax efficient way, Roth conversions throughout your life, and then how to extract the monies the most tax efficient ways from the various accounts that you have. So you could actually use both of them. So then that kind of comes back to our advisors threatened by the AI. Not yet, but they're going to get there. Like you mentioned, the robo advisor. I was never really threatened by that, nor am I today. It just doesn't. It doesn't threaten my business. This is different. This is different. I just learning it and implementing it for my clients, with my clients. It's different.
But look at you. You were actually exploring it. How many advisors are putting their heads in the sand?
Not, oh yes, ignoring it, kicking the can down the
Yeah.
road. Like I said on the offset of this episode, you've got to embrace it on my side of the table. If you don't, it's just going to pass you right by.
Hmm.
And now, again, if you're an advisor, I'm 49 years old. uh, I'm kind of in that middle, maybe, so to speak. But if you're a younger advisor, you better be paying attention to this. And if you're, an older advisor, closer to retirement, I mean, do you really care? Do you really want to implement it? You should, but do they really want to learn something new that, teaching an old dog new tricks, right? Um, I love it. I think it's great. As long as it benefits the client, I'm all for it. And it's done nothing. And by the way, it's done nothing but help increase my business, my
Good.
value afforded to clients. So it's made me actually a better financial advisor, and it's helped clients in the same token. So best of both worlds.
Well, I can see another problem cropping up, though. You have your bot that you're training. The guy down the hall has his being trained, and big firms are training theirs, and then you all have to choose names. We're going to run out of names.
Well, when you find, I need some ideas, so please send them my way. But hey, it's another. We're gonna run out of time here. But that's another, evolution of this, is that everyone's going to create their own. Right now, you got
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you got Gemini, and there's a few others that I use as well. But there's going to be more. And it's almost synonymous or akin to like Apple. Apple wasn't literally the first to the market with their product. They just revolutionized it, made it better and cheaper. And so that's what's going to happen. I see it in the investment world.
It's like
That
streaming services. They're going to be
there
everywhere.
you go,
And you
perfect.
want something, and it's going to be on that one and not that one. So you're going to have to get that one if you
You
want
know,
this.
see, that's a great example, Patrice, because I've started streaming my content, let's call it my TV, and I don't know if you remember this, but I streamed it through PlayStation. PlayStation,
PlayStation. Whoa,
yeah.
my kids had
See, I'm
PlayStations.
not a
Yeah.
gamer. I'm not a, but it wasn't a PlayStation unit, but PlayStation had a streaming service, and that was like the first
They
streaming
did?
that I knew of. service, and then it got bought. Then YouTube, of course,
Yeah.
came about, and but everything evolves to where it just gets bigger, better, and cheaper. And so we're on the precipice of this. And as we go forth in life, it sounds so philosophical. This industry too, being AI and how it's implemented into finance, will get bigger, better, and cheaper. And hold on, I think it's awesome, and it's fun.
Bigger, better, and cheaper. But then there's the consolidation. Of course, that may not happen for many years, but there will be some kind of consolidation too. So, yeah anyway, you just better get on board with the technology.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what a lot of this looks like. I just think it's exciting just exploring the ideas, the thoughts, and how it's going to be implemented. And I tell you what, one day I strive, this is a grandiose statement, but I strive to do what I just talked to you about for employers. Is that a pipe dream? Probably so. But little old me here in Kansas City, if you can help all of these people infinitely more than what's being done now, implementing this AI service, why not? But I can tell you the wheels turn very slow in higher ed realms. So,
well, they may find themselves left behind.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's my pipe dream. Will it come to fruition? I don't know.
I hope so. I do hope so.
You got to start
we'll talk
somewhere,
about it right here.
Right? Absolutely. So,
all right. Well, Greg, how can people reach you to talk about your pipe dream and other things?
You can reach me, Human Touches here. Email greg@shepardfinancial.com, and my website, which is going to be new here in a couple of weeks, SAFinancialservices.com.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. All right, listeners, get answers to your questions from a human. You can do that. Just call Greg and follow this podcast so you know when a new show is ready for you. And of course, please share it with others. I'm Patrice Sikora, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for listening to TIAA Simplified. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.safinancialservices.com or give us a call at 913-521-2381. And don't forget to click the follow button so you never miss an episode. S&A Financial Services, Inc. is a registered investment advisor. Content presented is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice or as an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Always consult with your tax advisor or attorney regarding your specific situation.